Hello, family. I'm going to be reading from the love letters of Jerry Bouchard and Mary Phyllis Forsyth, beginning in March 8th, 1954. And here's her address: Miss Mary Forsyth, 924 Gordon Terrace, Chicago 13, Illinois. You see the 3-cent stamp there. All right, here we go. This is Monday morning. Dear Mary, how's the little girl from the big town? I suppose you were a little stiff last week after the big weekend at Iron Mountain. I was out until 1:30 a.m. that Sunday night, or I should say Monday morning. So I had a hard time staying awake at school the next day. What train did you take back to Chi Sunday? When the train from Iron Mountain stopped in Green Bay at midnight, you were not on it, were you? My buddy and I were in town. And about the same time that we got to the train, and we walked all the way through it, and we didn't see you and your friends. This past Sunday, we went skiing again at Iron Mountain. There were two couples who went, and we had a good time as usual. The jumps were supposed to have been held this Sunday, but again, they had to be canceled because it was too windy. This wasn't as much snow. There wasn't as much snow up there this time, but I had more fun because we built a jump and did a little jumping. I like jumping more than just plain downhill skiing. There's more of a thrill to it. I sure have been getting a lot more sleep than usual. Now that Lent is here, I give up smoking and drinking and eating candy. Now that I am 21, that idea of eating no lunches and just so much at each meal is the hardest on me. I'm also trying to be a good boy by going to Mass and Communion 4 times a week. I also am doing the usual Lenten absences, giving up water skiing in March, eating watermelon, and swimming in the Fox River. Ho, ho. Let's get back to you. What have you been doing for excitement? What have you done during Lent? I suppose there are a lot of things in Chicago, and I know, for as small as Green Bay is, we are finding something to do every night. Last Saturday night, after I was finished working at the gas station, about 7 or 8 of us started playing cards. We played from blackjack from 9 to 11 p.m. I was lucky for once. I won $12. So I guess that's more than makes up for the $4 I lost playing poker at Iron Mountain. I had to take the fellows out and buy them a drink at the mill after, though. It should not have been Lent because it sure is hard to go out like that and sit and drink white soda or tomato juice or something while the other fellows are drinking beer and other enjoyables. There sure was a lot of excitement going on around school last week. Every year, St. Norbert's holds the annual Catholic high school basketball tournament here. There are many teams up from all over Wisconsin, so our little campus was buzzing with noise for about 5 days. It ended Sunday night. Marquette High of Milwaukee won the state title. I only saw a couple of the games. Well, I guess I better close for a while, 'cause I have to run class now, one of my numerous English classes. Bye-bye. Be good. As always, Jerry. P.S. If you find time to little old me, Jerry Bouchard, 605 Acme Street, Green Bay, Wisconsin. And her response. March 12th. She signs her letter Thursday the 11th. The stamp is March 12th. Dear Jerry, I can find time for little old you. I'm really glad that you wrote. I didn't think that you would remember my address, though, but I see that you have a very good memory. It is kind of late now, and everybody here is in bed except for me. This is when I like to write letters while everything is so quiet. My radio is playing, but I have turned it down, way down, low, so it won't wake anyone. You are right. I was certainly stiff for a few days last week, and I never had so many black and blue marks in my life. I looked kind of polka dotted. It was worth every ache and pain, though. I had such a wonderful time. I only wish this was December instead of March. Now that spring is the spring is here, there won't be enough snow to go back again this year. I can't understand what could have happened Sunday night because we were on the train to Chicago. You must have walked right past us. Maybe you didn't recognize us because we had our long coats on. And besides, there we were all asleep. When they turned the lights on, I woke up, and the only person that I remember seeing was a man selling coffee and sandwiches. That wasn't you, was it? Before we left the station, I fell back to sleep. So you must have come through our car when our eyes were closed because you would never have gone by without me seeing you if I was awake. I'll never go to sleep on a train again. In your letter, you mentioned that you were getting more sleep now that as Lent is here. It's just the opposite with me. I think I'm getting less. I'm glad to hear that you are being such a good boy during Lent. I'm trying to be good too. It's so hard. By going to Mass and Communion every morning before work. That's swell that you're giving up so many things, especially watermelon. Isn't that too much to sacrifice? You shouldn't overdo it, you know. All kidding aside, that's really something that you're giving up smoking. It isn't hard. It is hard, isn't it? My dad gives it up every year for Lent. I'm real proud of you, men folks. I was thinking seriously of starting to have it so that I could give it up too, but never quite got around to it. I have to fast too this year, but I don't notice it very much because I never eat a big breakfast or lunch. Anyways, what I miss the most in your fort is my fourth meal. I most always fix myself something to eat before I go to bed at night, and now I can't do that. You mentioned that you were working in the gas station. Where do you find the time to go to school, run the ski toll? Is that what you call it? And work in the gas station besides. My, but you are ambitious. Two of my brothers bought a gas station together about 3 weeks ago. I went out to see it last Saturday afternoon. It sure is nice. I think I would like to work there myself. One of my brothers said that he was going to sit me at the curb to attract more business. What a comedian. And I told him that I'd only scare the people away. Shirley has friends that live in Iron Mountain, and they own a cottage at Spread Eagle Lakes, which is only a few miles from there. They said that we could use it any time we please. So that's how we're going to spend some of our weekends this summer. Sounds like fun, doesn't it? You and your friends should drive up and visit us while we're there, but that won't be for quite a while yet. I haven't got the pictures we took at Iron Mountain back yet. It takes 3 weeks to get colored film developed. I can't wait to see them. I bet they are funny. We were silly. We didn't even take a picture of you fellows. I didn't think of it until after you had left, and then it was too late. Last Sunday, 6 of us went over to Shirley's house, and we played some cards. We don't play for money, though, like you fellows do, just for fun. Not very exciting, is it? We stayed for supper and then left early so as to have time to go out again in the evening. I haven't been out since then, except for work, because my mother hasn't been feeling well, and I don't like to leave her. The poor family has even been eating my cooking. I hope they survive. I'll have them spoiled this evening. We had dinner in the living room, so we could watch television at the same time. Pretty nice, huh? Well, I guess I'll close for now. Be good. Write real soon. As ever, Mary. P.S. I have a new nickname at work. The Ski Queen. Ha! If they had only seen me. Next letter is March 13th, 1954. Dear Mary, Saturday afternoon. I sure was surprised to receive an answer to your letter so soon, so I'll do the same. Besides, I have a pretty boring afternoon to look forward to. Guess where I am this afternoon? Out at Baird's Creek, sitting in the warming house. I am supposed to be running the ski tow right now, but there isn't enough snow to ski, so I just have to sit here and watch the little kids who are skiing and sledding. What a snap job, eh? At $1.53 an hour? Two, what a good deal. Why don't you come and keep me company? I suppose it is impossible. As you can guess, we had a terrific snowstorm Friday night. I heard Chicago had one too. A couple of us fellows, we went out last night. We almost didn't get home. It was blowing and snowing so hard. But my little Plymouth got through the drifts. The other night, at 7 or 8 of us, were playing cards again, blackjack. I was lucky too. I won about $10. It isn't very often that I win at cards, but I sure was hot that night. We went out again after to have a few drinks, white soda for me. And one of my buddies, Dick LaPlante, almost got thrown in jail because he was underage. But then the cop let him go. Last night, the storm we went to last night, the night of the storm, we went to the show. We saw Alan Ladd in Shashawishuan, if that's the way you spell it. After we went to Mercer's, a beer joint for a few. Tomato juice for me. We bowled at the bowling machine for drinks all night. I couldn't miss, so I had 10 free drinks. I didn't have to buy one all night. So again, I was pretty lucky. Sunday night, we were doubling up and going out to see the Glenn Miller story. I heard it was supposed to be pretty good. I also just love his soft, enchanting music. In fact, I love any music. In your letter, you said, I worked at the ski toll, spelled TOW, as I'm being towed up the hill. But I will excuse you this time because you aren't too well acquainted with skiing, and it's different terms, but no excuse accepted next time. Okay? You said I must be ambitious working at the ski tow, our gas station, and going to school on the side. I guess I must have forgotten to tell you that I drive a school bus twice a day, too. Just a little extra money. You know, I can use a little of that stuff. Mostly to pay for my schooling and, of course, my enjoyments, too. At the present time, I have 5 sources of income: ski tow, gas station, school bus. I get paid for belonging to ROTC in school, and I also belong to the Army Reserve. I got my report card today. Not too impressive. B in social studies, C in Shakespeare, B in creative writing, C in English novel, and C in ROTC, and a dirty rotten F in Shropshire. When my mother sees that F, she will surely hit the ceiling. She seems to think that I'm capable of straight A's. What a laugh, right? My favorite course is creative writing. I have to write a short story or a poem every week. You should see some of my masterpieces sometime. That reminds me, I think I will write you a poem for you, provided you will do me a big favor. All you have to do is send me a picture of you. I think you are getting the easiest end of the bargain, don't you? It is a deal. Right now it is 3:45 p.m. and I only have an hour and 15 minutes to go. You sure have been wonderful company this lovely afternoon. Even though I can't see your pretty face, but I sure have a wonderful picture in my mind. Well, I have to go to work at the gas station at 5:30, so I'll close for a little while. Be sure to write soon and often. Bye-bye. Be good. Thinking of you, Jerry. P.S. I have a radio on right now, and the song that is playing is, quote unquote, Make Love to Me. What a lovely way to end the lovely afternoon with you. Okay, Friday, the 19th of March. Dear Jerry, it was oodles of fun spending Saturday afternoon with you. Too bad I wasn't really there to enjoy it. You write the nicest letters. No wonder you get such a good marks in creative writing. I think your little deal is a wonderful idea, but I'm I'm not keeping my half of the bargain very well, am I? I have been waiting for the Iron Mountain Pictures to send me one. The lady in the store said I could get them Monday, but I didn't want to wait until then to write. So I'll send you a photo of my next letter. Think you can wait until then? You'll be sorry. I take horrible pictures. They say cameras never lie. Well, this week wasn't as boring as last week. I did something practically every night. Sunday evening, I went to a dance at the Edgewater Beach Hotel. It is such a beautiful hotel. I've been there before, but we walked all through the first floor looking at everything. Anyways, during the intermission, do you like to dance? Maybe someday in the far, far future, we can go dancing together. Fun, huh? Monday night, a group of girls from work and myself went bowling. I won't tell you my scores, though, because you would laugh. We all did pretty bad, but we had fun in spite of the scores. I suppose the pin boy was ready to shoot us. It was a nice bowling alley we went to. They don't even charge for renting shoes, and they give out free popcorn. Only I couldn't eat any because it was Lent. It smelled so good. Did you like the Glenn Miller story? I heard that it was sort of sad, but real good. I should go see it. The more I cry in movies, the better I enjoy them. Silly, isn't it? I saw The Fugitive Tuesday night. It was the best movie I've ever seen in quite a while. The whole picture was centered around a little boy, about 5 years old. He was so natural you wouldn't even know he was acting. I'm writing at work. If I'm fired, I'll come to Green Bay and get a job. Ha ha. We aren't supposed to write personal letters at work naturally, but I have more time here than at home. I might go to the auto show over the weekend. I'll tell you all about it in the next letter. You've never seen one? See what you're missing by not living in Chi? We do have something besides soot, smoke, dirt, dust, and too much wind. I shouldn't talk that way about my fair city. I really kind of like the place. By the way, are you sure you didn't have spring fever when you wrote to me Saturday? A few more days like yesterday, and I'll have a case of it myself. It was so warm. My girlfriend and I went for a walk in the afternoon. We sure hated to come back to work after that. We didn't even wear our coats and didn't feel cold either. I'd rather not, but maybe I better close and do a little work. I'm beginning to feel guilty. But for now, write again real soon. Luff and stuff, Mary. P.S. I'm waiting anxiously for my poem. March 21st, Saturday night. Hi, Mary. How's the ski queen of the big city? I'm working at the present time at my dad's gas station. I have already 5 interruptions since I began the letter, so maybe you'll excuse some of the mistakes. My parents left today for New Orleans, so now I'm all by myself. I have to batch it for about 2 weeks because, as you know, I'm the only child living at home. My sister's in the convent. I sure could use a good housekeeper for a while. I hate my own cooking, and I get tired of eating in restaurants. I think I will let the dirty dishes pile up in the sink for a week, and then I will dive in and do them all at once. The last time my parents went out for a while, I did the same thing, but then I was going steady with a girl, so I had her come over and help me and clean up the house one Sunday afternoon. I guess maybe I can find a girl to do the same thing this time, But I won't be that lucky. Girls aren't that ambitious these days. I also have to operate the gas station, but not alone, although I have to do the bookkeeping and things like that. My willpower was weakening. I started smoking this week. So I'm not such a good boy after all, right? What did you do on Saturday, St. Patrick's Day? A couple of us fellows went out and got drunk. I didn't get drunk, but I sure was feeling good. I also had a great time. I am half Irish, so I can drink that night without breaking any promise of not drinking in Lent. Must be wonderful to see the whole world at a glance. By the way, how about telling me all about yourself? How many are there in your family? What do you do at night for excitement? What's your ambitions in life? Is what your secret dreams are? Little things like that. Bye for a little while, and remember, you told me to write soon, so you do the same. I haven't received a letter from you for a week now. Always, Jerry. P.S. I'm working on that poem. Now this part, I'm not sure if it went along with it or if it's a different from a different letter, but I'm going to go ahead and read it. At school this week, we received bad news. Some of us are not going to receive our commissions in the Army, but we were given an alternative. We can join the Air Force and get a commission in that service. So that is what I'm going to do. I will have to serve for 3 years, though. I have it all figured out. At the end of those 3 years, I should have at least $10,000 saved because we're going to receive $438 a month in the Air Force. I'll probably be a pilot at least, I hope so. I sure would love to fly. Just the thought of being in the heavens, cruising to my heart's content, sent chills up my spine. I've always dreamed of doing just that. Did you ever fly? I never have. But it's sure, unfortunately, I don't know where the rest of that is. All right, here is March 23rd, I think it is, Tuesday p.m. Again, this is from Jerry. Hi, kiddo. I didn't see how you think you are not keeping your part of the deal. You know darn well I would be satisfied. I was the one who suggested it, didn't I? I'm sitting in ROTC class, listening to the boring lecture on military justice. So I decided I would do something more interesting. I couldn't possibly think of anything that I would enjoy more than to write a letter to little you. It is now 1:20 p.m. and this is my last class. I had only 2 classes this morning, so I'm having a fairly easy day. Last night, I went to the Army Reserve meeting. We went down to the range and did some shooting. I did pretty well until I started firing standing up. I was so nervous and shaky. I couldn't even hit the target. So that ruined my good score. I guess I have been smoking too much lately. That crazy smoking always makes me nervous. So you went dancing during Lent, eh? What's the idea of doing that? Someday, maybe sometime this spring, I will come to Shy. I would love to go dancing, especially with you. The Edgewater Beach Club sounds wonderful. By the way, I never get to see the Glenn Miller story. I must have done something else that night. I was going to see it. Maybe I can take you to see it. Too bad Shy is so far from Green Bay. Although it isn't too far if you had someone interesting to ride with. I guess maybe I must have had spring fever the other day. It sure was wonderful, though. I must say I have it too. I'm working now. Over the weekend, a buddy of mine, Jerry Gantz, and I went to town. Sunday, we went to about 3 or 4 different dances. What a time we had. Got home at 2 o'clock Monday morning. I think I would have had more fun if my favorite little Chicago dancing partner would have been with me. There has been a ping pong tournament going on at school this past 2 weeks. I was going to tell you about it before, but I decided I'd wait to see how it ended. I guess I was pretty lucky. I got as far as the finals, but then I was beaten. Guess I'll have to settle for second place, just like last year, when I was also beaten in the finals. I took second place last year in the Brown County tournament, too. Not good enough to be first, I guess. If I would have won this year, I would have gone to the big intra-school meet at Lewis College in Illinois. Then maybe I would have been able to stop in Chi on the way back. But I guess I don't live right to be that lucky. Maybe I should close for a while, but I sure would love to write. I sure love to write letters, especially to someone who makes life enjoyable. Bye bye. Be good for me. Anna Ma E Kor, Jerry. P.S. Still working on my masterpiece. I looked up the Anna Mae A Kor, and it is a song written by Perry Como. March 26, 3 o'clock p.m., Wednesday evening. Dear Jerry, you must be kind of lonesome. I know I would be if I were home alone for 2 weeks. But I don't have much chance to be alone. There's always seems to be someone around here. My girlfriend, Jerry, and I did go to the auto show over the weekend. I think everybody in Chicago was there. It was sure crowded. All the 1954 models were in display, and most of the makes, like Cadillac and Mercury, had special cars made just for the program. I never dreamed there would be such beautiful cars in existence. Mercury had a yellow hardtop convertible, red top, on display, and the whole inside of the car, doors and all, was red, and blue polka dotted leather. The crazy display of all was by Ford. They had a radio control car that they called right out of the comic books. It looked like it was out of the comic books, too. While I was there, I got this souvenir for you. Now you can tell your friends that you were there too. Be sure to play your new harmonica. It has a lovely tone. I discovered from your letter that you and I have something in common. I'm part Irish too. I think it's swell that you can get a commission in the Air Forces. If I were a young man and I had my choice, I think I'd rather be in that service anyway. My three older brothers were in the Air Corps during the last war. One of them was a pilot. You asked me if I had ever flown, and I have a few times, but only in small cubs. My brother Don, the pilot, has a buddy who owns an airport in Indiana. Every summer we drive out there a couple of times and go flying. It is the most wonderful feeling. I just love it. The last time we went, he gave me a really exciting ride. He was trying to scare me, but he should know me better than that. I like to live dangerously. You asked me so many questions in your last letter that it would take a book to answer them all. First of all, in my family, there are my mother and my dad, and my four brothers. I'm the only girl. Poor me. My three older brothers are married and have children of their own. Only my younger brother and myself are at home now. He is 2 years younger than me and a perfect doll, but don't ever tell him I said so. He bought a car a few months ago and he chauffeurs me around like a queen. When I go out with my girlfriends in the evening, he usually comes and picks me up so I don't have to come home alone. Pretty nice, isn't he? How can I tell you all about myself in a letter? It would take hours of constant talking, but I can tell you my ambitions in life. I have two ambitions. I'd like to be either an airline hostess or a commercial artist, but they are both just pipe dreams. I'm taking a home art course just for my own enjoyment. So that's how I spend some of the evenings at home drawing. It doesn't seem right though to tell you all my secret dreams in a letter. If you could sit down and have a long, long chat, I might tell you all the little things, as you call it. They sort of lose their luster when written down in a black and white. Don't you agree? I'm sitting in my room in front of the window writing to you. It is pouring rain outside. I think we are almost flooded. I was drenched when I got home from work this evening, but I really didn't mind. That's another one of my little secrets. I kind of like walking in the rain. My mother tells me that I'm neither sugar nor spice nor anybody's honey, so I won't melt. So I guess the rain can't hurt me much, can it? Chatterbox, aren't I? I better stop now before you fall asleep. Best ever, Mary. March 29th, Saturday morning. Too early. Dear Jerry, how is the Green Bay athlete? My goodness, what don't you do? I suppose you play tennis, swim like a fish, play 8 holes of golf every morning before breakfast. You make me ashamed of myself. I love all kinds of sports, attempt them all, but can't do them well enough to be worth mentioning. That's wonderful that you did so well in the tournament. I wish I had won. I wish you had won, though, especially since you might have stopped in shy. Maybe next time you'll win. Keep trying. Remember, at first you don't succeed. Just keep trying until you do succeed. Okay? My little niece is here with me now. I wish you could see her. Is she a cutie? She has natural, curly blonde hair and the biggest, bluest eyes you'd ever want to see. Only one thing wrong, though. She woke me up so awfully early in the morning. We have been sitting here since 6 o'clock drawing funny pictures for each other. Believe me, they really are funny, too. After about half an hour of that, I decided I could put my paper to much better use. Lots more fun, too. She has no one to write to, and besides, she hasn't learned how to yet. So she is still drawing pictures for me. The Iron Mountain pictures didn't come very clear, so I'm sending you another one besides. I hope it won't ruin that picture you said you have of me in your mind. I would like very much to have a picture of you, too, but I can't write a poem in return for it. I'm not much of a poet. Maybe you'll send me one out of the goodness of your heart? Think so? Hi again. I didn't finish your letter yesterday. Too many interruptions. In the afternoon, my brothers and I drove Patty, my niece, home. They live in Mundelein, Illinois. It's quite a ways, and we didn't get back until late last night. Have you ever heard of Eden's Highway? Well, that's the way we came into Chicago. It's just like riding in the daylight along the side of the highway, are huge floodlights every few feet. You can see the lights for miles ahead. It's really something to see. Mm, you wrote the nicest little Tues. You wrote the nicest letter Tuesday. I liked especially the way you signed it. I think Anime Acor is one of the prettiest songs I've ever heard. I bought the record about a week ago, and I have been playing it ever since. Do you really think you might come to Shy this spring? That would be wonderful. I'll give you a sightseeing tour of all the nicest places. The first day of spring was about a week ago, so any time now will be just fine with me. I would love to see you again. I wish that it wasn't such an awfully long drive for you. At least there are no oceans or mountains between us. Maybe you could bring your boyfriends with, so you could change drivers once in a while. I wouldn't want you to be all tired out when you got here. I'll close now and take real good care of yourself. Lots o' luff, luff, Mary. P.S. Have you been working so long on the poem? It must really be a masterpiece. March 30th, Tuesday evening, after work. Bonjour, my chérie. I sure have been busy these last few days, besides all my schoolwork. which should be enough to keep me busy running this gas station. It's more work than I thought it would be. Then hours I spend working on the books is harder than just putting in my usual working hours here. If all this isn't enough, I still have been going out more than I should every night. My parents are still out of town. On Saturday night, I had a party at my house, just boys. We played cards all night, and I should say, all morning. We played cards until 5 a.m., and then we went to church, came home, ate breakfast, then I had to go to work. I worked until 12:30. My buddy and I were going to go to Milwaukee, a little ride in the afternoon, but then it started to snow, so I slept all afternoon, and then I was almost dead. You were speaking of the Edens Highway. I was on it last summer. When I went to summer camp last June, in my car I drove on it, right to the end. Then I crossed over to the Lakeshore Drive. I went to Maryland and Baltimore for 6 weeks. I also came back the same way. Do you live anywhere near any of these roads? You spoke of my driving to Chi alone. I drove 1,100 miles coming back last summer all alone. There were 3 other fellows with me, but I wanted to drive. I drove back in 19 hours. I made from Chi to Green Bay in 3 and 1 hours in my little Plymouth. That little blue streak was all but flying. Say, what sports do you like? Do you ever get a chance to play them in Chi? I don't play golf, tennis, and swim all before breakfast, but I do play them. I think I love to play every sport. In fact, one time or another during the school year, I played them all: golf, tennis, basketball, baseball, football, but not swimming, although I am going to try water skiing this summer out on the bay. Did you ever try it? I love those pictures of you. I put the big one in the frame on my dresser already. Did you lose some weight? You look like you have a double chin. It's cute. And so are you. I don't have a picture of myself, but I will have one made. One of my graduation pictures. I hope it will satisfy you. It doesn't satisfy me. I don't like it at all. The past few weeks, when I receive your letters, I seem to be happy all the time. I never seem to have a worry in the world. Wherever I go, you seem to be on my mind. You seem to be an inspiration in school and even a wonderful dream at night. I hope you don't think that I'm kidding, because I'm not. I don't know what has gotten into me. It must be you. Do you think you can explain it? I can't. Enough of that. Before I get all mixed up, as if I'm not already. I don't know what it is. It's just one of those things. Quote unquote, bewitched Jerry. Saturday night, beginning of April 4th. Hi, Mary. I'm presently working at the station as hard as ever. Not a very exciting week this week. I've been doing quite a bit of studying because the quarterly tests were held Friday and Saturday. I wrote 3 pretty fair tests so far. I have 3 more Monday and Tuesday. I sure would like to have a good report card this time. I could use it. In these final days of my college career, I guess I should buckle down, not go out so much. I'll be glad when I graduate. Sometimes studying gets on a person's nerves. I sure am getting tired of this town. There isn't anything to do anymore. Nothing or no one of any interest to me in Green Bay anymore. I don't know if it's just me or what, but looking at the same faces and the same things gets boring. I guess I must be getting to be an old man or something. But nightlife and running around just doesn't interest me anymore. I guess when a person feels like there is only one thing for him to do, get married. Ha ha. You know that sounds funny, doesn't it? But I guess that too is out of the question. First of all, I'm broke. Second, I haven't got a girlfriend. So, for excitement, my buddy and I have been traveling around on the weekends, going everywhere. Sunday, tomorrow, we're going to Milwaukee to fool around. I guess there's a big dance at the Eagles Club down there. So, because I love to dance, that's where we're going. Anything to get out of Green Bay, if only for a little while. Don't get me wrong about Green Bay, that is. This is a swell town. I wouldn't trade it for any other city in the U.S. Believe me, I saw a lot of cities this summer from Green Bay all the way out east. Milwaukee, Chi, Baltimore, Philly, Washington, D.C., New York, or any city in between. I would never trade it for little old Green Bay. Maybe I'm bragging about Green Bay because I live here, but if you ever come here, and you will love it too. Everyone who gets to know Green Bay never moves away. Would you do me a favor and send me a map? A small one, a little drawing or something, how to find your house, just in case I might take a notion to drop in, provided it is all right with you. If I come to Chi, I would come in the Eden's Highway, where the light poles are 46 feet apart. Measure it if you don't believe me. So, would you direct me from there? Deal? You never can tell. I have to decide on the spur of the moment because I never know if I'm going to leave town until late. Because I work every Sunday morning. Because I have to, see? Because. Well, my little shy pie, I guess I can bring this whimsical force to an end for a little while. Bye bye, be good, just for me. Quote unquote. I'll see you in my dreams, Jerry. P.S. Enclosure. Just something I found blowing along the street one day. Throw it away if you can't find room for it. Wednesday evening. Hiya, handsome. Your picture is so good of you, Jerry. I sure can't understand why you don't like it. I wish I had a decent one to send to you, but I haven't had my picture taken, only snapshots, since I graduated high school. You wouldn't know me in my graduation picture. I had long hair for one thing. My mother has it sitting on the mantle in the living room still. She says it's going to stay there until I get a new one. You shouldn't be discouraged with Green Bay. It sounds like a wonderful town. I think it would be swell to see the same faces every place you go. There are so many people in Chi that most of them are strangers to me. Here you never see the same faces twice. Once in a while, I go shopping in the Loop alone, and I can spend the whole day going in and out of the stores and not one person I know. It is sort of a lonely feeling. So appreciate your little town. I wish it were mine. Why did you say ha ha after mentioning the idea of yourself being married? I don't think it's funny at all. Why don't you? You won't need any money. It is much more romantic to live on love. I don't think you'll have any trouble getting a girlfriend either. I bet every girl in Green Bay is dying for you to ask her. I'll get married too, someday, when my knight in shining armor comes and sweeps me off my feet. Here's a perfect place for a big ha ha. My girlfriend is learning to drive from her brother, and yesterday evening they stopped by and took me for a long ride. What a hair raising experience! He has a convertible and a comfortable and offered to loan it to us sometimes in the summer. Can't you just see me whipping around the city in a convertible? She'll have to learn how to drive better than this before I go with her again. I am really glad that you are going to come and see me one of these days. I marked the big map. Can't see it very well, but made a small one of a neighborhood to make it a little easier for you. I live on the most miserable street in Chicago. It is the narrowest, shortest, and most crowded. It isn't too difficult to find it isn't too difficult to find parking place in the daytime, but it's almost impossible at night. But I shouldn't complain. We should make the most of what we have and be happy, right? It is a little late, so I'll close now. Study real hard so you'll get good grades and don't do anything I wouldn't do. Quote unquote, wish you were here, Mary. P.S. You're so right. There are 46 feet apart. I measured them. All right, I'm going to stop for now. See you soon.